In 2004, the short webcomic Weeaboo was published by the Perry Bible Fellowship and quickly weaponized by the internet as shorthand for a particular affliction, Japanophilia. To this day, tales are whispered across forums and message boards of young men, often pale and delusional, setting sail across the Pacific hoping to find peace, purpose, and acceptance. It is a journey not unlike that of the Israelites, who wandered 40 years in the deserts, yearning for a promised land. Only this time, the desert is Narita Airport, the milk and honey, anime, and manga. But hidden among the thousands who attempt this modern-day Sukkot was a man who didn't just survive, he thrived.
Chapter 1 Believe it or not.
Somewhere at the crossroads between Anderson Cooper
20% chance AI will wipe out humans.
and Chevy Chase,
I'll talk to you later. Good evening. I'm God. Here's the news.
sits Dave Spector. Not quite a comedian, not quite a newscaster, and not quite a foreign correspondent. Spector has positioned himself uniquely to the Japanese as a Hunter S. Thompson-style celebrity journalist, able to decipher the cryptic and often baffling United States of America with the precision of a heart surgeon. Hailing from Chicago, Illinois, and graduating from what Spector himself has described as one of those broadcasting trade schools in Chicago that you see advertised in the Yellow Pages, Spector recalls being fascinated by Japanese media from a young age after befriending a Japanese immigrant in elementary school.
Well, I started to learn Japanese as a hobby when I was about 11 years old in Chicago in grammar school. I met a great kid who had moved from Japan, and we just hit it off. And he brought a lot of comic books, famous Japanese manga, to school, and I looked at them and, wow, wouldn't this be great to be able to read them?
It was this fascination with East Asian culture and his subsequent dedication to learning the native language of his childhood friend that led Spector to his employment at Ripley's Believe It or Not, where he used his command of the Japanese language to secure obscure foreign footage that would appeal to Western audiences for its unusual and foreign nature. Spector would eventually graduate to working on The Richard Simmons Show in Los Angeles and writing jokes for many comedians before heading eastward as an on-the-ground Tokyo reporter for shows like Funny People and Inside Edition.
Chapter 2 Master of the East.
A lot of times the foreigners on TV or the models or whatnot are compared to pandas. They use that term here, pandas, because they're cuddly and you can go and have fun with them and throw a marshmallow and that's about it.
At first appearing as a novelty guest, Spector soon realized that by leaning into expectations, he could fashion himself as the archetypical blonde-haired, blue-eyed, burger-eating American, a character which would appeal to Japanese audiences. To Western viewers, Spector's fame can be difficult to explain. Japan's concept of a tereto, a general television personality, is almost without parallel. The closest comparison would have to be Carl Pilkington.
Chicken. Why is it orange in Chinatown?
Someone whose value lies less in traditional performance and more in the way others play off him. Like Pilkington, Spector was often the butt of jokes, but this dynamic secured his place on screen. His very foreignness became a brand in itself, one which he used with surprising skill. And in an industry where personalities often vanish just as quickly as they appear, Spector didn't just endure, he became a fixture, eventually cementing roles that would become pop cultural staples, such as the villain in a series of advertisements for UFO Yakushiba in the 1990s. Spector's rise wasn't simply about breaking into show business, it was about creating a whole new role that only he could play. Both stereotype and subversion, punchline and commentator, he became unforgettable to Japanese audiences.
Chapter 3 The Famous Dave Spector.
Which leads us to today. Dave Spector is no longer a singular phenomenon of Japanese entertainment. The path he walked through the metaphorical desert has since been walked by others. Patrick Harlan, whose polished bilingual wit has made him a fixture of variety shows. Ike Nwala, who built a career as a stand-up comedian and actor while leaning into his outsider perspective. and countless others who have followed the formula of turning cultural difference into a kind of performance. In many ways, what was once novel has become its own genre, the gaijin talento. And yet Spector remains apart. He was the pioneer, the one who transformed foreigners from a curiosity into a sustainable media identity. Unlike those who came after, he had no model to follow. He left behind a comfortable life in Chicago, Illinois, and bet everything on the chance that he could reinvent himself halfway across the globe. The gamble not only paid off, but redefined what was possible in the Japanese media landscape. Today, Spector stands as a reminder of how far an outsider can go when he embraces his role with humor, intelligence, and persistence. Others may share the stage, but Dave Spector will always be remembered as the original blueprint, the one who showed Japan what a foreigner could become in their unique pop culture. As television evolves and new personalities rise and fade, Dave Spector endures, not simply as a comedian, not simply as a commentator, not simply as a curiosity, but as proof that identity itself can be turned into art. And for that, he will always be more than just another face on the screen. He'll be a landmark in Japan's cultural landscape.
Dave Spector? Do I know a guy named Dave Spector? No. Should I know Dave Spector? I will search out the famous Dave Spector.
この映画へのご協力とご参加に改めて感謝申し上げます。デーブ・スペ